Hello everyone, welcome to another Old World update. We've gotten a few more Old World Almanac articles in the past week that I want to comment upon. I'm going to limit my comments to just the things that were noticeable to me because, well, I saw on my YouTube page that these Old World updates don't really gather that many views, so that means that you probably are not all that interested in them. So let's see if a shorter video with just my basic thoughts on this will be more interesting for you to watch. As always, you can also let me know in the comments what you think of these updates and anything that you would like to see improved. I'm always open to feedback. Before we jump in, I've got a quick message for you. If you're anything like me, then by now you have amassed several Warhammer armies totaling hundreds of miniatures. Because you still want to play those old armies in earlier editions, and because it takes a lot of time, there is no way you're going to rebase all of those goblins, skeletons, clan rats and whatnot. Fortunately, I have an ideal solution for you. If you go to my website forcesoffantasy.com, at the top right corner you will find an affiliate link to warfactor.eu. On this website you can find all sorts of base adapters, movement trays and spacers that you can use to easily upgrade your miniatures from their old trusted base sizes to the new ones for use in Warhammer the Old World. If you use this link on my website, a small percentage of your order will flow back towards the Forces of Fantasy podcast. So if you like to support the show, then this is a great way to both get your armies Old World ready and to show your support for the Forces of Fantasy podcast. Go to forcesoffantasy.com, click the affiliate link and order all the stuff you need to get your armies ready for Warhammer the Old World. Happy wargaming! Let's start by taking a look at the first of the Old World Almanac articles for last week, The Art of Remastering Classic Miniatures. This article gives you a bit of an insight in all the things that need to be done to get these old models back into production. Sometimes the original green, the original sculpt has been lost, so you have to work off of a master casting, but that's not always as detailed, so some details needed to be resculpted on that. And then sometimes your models have to be cut up, and this allowed the sculptor to make this lovely interior for the Casket of Souls. For me, this little interior alone would be worth it getting another Casket of Souls. I already have one, it has served me very well in the past. I've never seen the need to put two on the battlefield, but well, this detail is something that would be very thematic whenever the casket is opened, to physically remove the lid to show that everybody's eyes are starting to burn out. We are also going to get a new Carrion sculpt. The original two Carrion was sculpted by Trish Garden, and this new sculpt is based off of those old ones. The Tomb Scorpion, I don't really see if there's anything new about it. More easy to assemble, more posable. It's all ball joints. Okay, so that's you can be a little bit more versatile with the Tomb Scorpion, I guess. We get a new head for the Bone Giant that was sculpted before, but it is now being released, or yeah, well, it wasn't released the first time. We did get that old head over here, but this one we hadn't seen before. So that's basically everything for this first article. Let's go on to the second one. The Old World Almanac: How to Get the Best Out of Your Resin and Metal Models. This is just going to be an FYI. You can go to the website, I will put the link in the description, where you can download this guide working with resin and working with metal, just in case you are not an expert on them already. And these modeling articles, go ahead, go check them out if that's what you're interested in, and if not, then just do whatever you have been doing, because clearly it has been working for you. And then we get to our final article, the one that was released today. Well, today at the time of recording, I probably won't have time to edit this and put it out the same day, but this is an article about how Games Workshop have decided to embrace the eco-climate friendly approach. They are going to go green and... What's that? Not that green. Oh, apparently it's an article about green in a different way, Orcs and Goblins. Old World Almanac, the Orc and Goblin tribes. Orcs and Goblins are going to be the next army that is up for release. So here we go, Orcs and Goblins, here comes Dawa. Again, link in the description. And a few things that we notice is that there's a lot more emphasis, it seems, on common goblins. Usually when you see an army picture like this, all the goblins, especially in 7th and 8th edition, were night goblins. Common goblins are back, and they are even featuring very prominently in the battalion box. We used to get a battalion box with just orcs and 1 chariot. Now we get 2 chariots and a lot of orcs, and also a few regiments of goblins. We get, of course, the Orc and Goblin Tribes Arcane Journal. We get some new miniatures. We get this ferocious looking orc war boss. I hope that he has a shield or something on his back, because, well, just an orc with a regular hand weapon, I don't think anybody is going to field that very often. I do notice that they color the insides of his ears pink. There's a bit more pink going on. The lips and the gums have been pink on orcs for a long time. The inside of the ears, this is the first time that I noticed this, so this might be a new direction that they have gone off in. We also get this lovely shaman who's wearing a river troll for a hat. And, well, since it's a river troll, I'm going to assume that this is just a crab and not a unfortunate demonette. And it's got this night goblin or pair of night goblins as a familiar. There's a fish in there making soup. Yeah, a river orc shaman, which apparently now is going to be a thing, I think. I don't know. We get some returning plastics, and some of these are really surprising to me. These ones that we see here are the starter set orcs that were released all the way back in 6th edition. These were the first orcs, the first Games Workshop orcs that I ever got my hands on. They were in the starter set in 6th edition, they were in the Orc Battalion box, they were also in the Orc Army deal, so a lot of these are going around. You can find them for really cheap in the second-hand market, but apparently Games Workshop thought it a good idea to re-release them anyway. We also get the newer plastic boar boys. I would have expected with this old aesthetic to get the older 6th edition boar boys, but well, these also I think fit, although there might be a bit of a scale creep going on. I know that the boars are very big, especially compared to the older boars that we get here on the chariots, so yeah, this mixed aesthetic, I don't know. This is just probably a bit laziness, getting these new boars in with the old boars. I know a lot of us will have armies looking like this, but personally I think that the older boar boys, if you are going to release old miniatures, get the old boar boys that were on these boars, and don't use those newer edition plastics. We also see Black Orcs returning, and I think these are the plastic Black Orcs that were the Age of Sigmar art boys. I don't think these are the metal ones. And the Orc and Goblin, the Orc General kit, General and Battle Standard Bearer. You can make this in several different options with a great weapon, additional hand weapon and shield, Standard Bearer on foot, Standard Bearer mounted. Good that that one is returning, and also the multi-part orcs that were, I believe, also released all the way back in 6th edition. We also get some returning Forge World resins, these Night Goblin characters, and the Orc Battle Standard Bearer and Orc with a great weapon. And what's mentioned here in between these two pictures is that we will also get let's see, the Goblin Mob, Night Goblin Mob, and Goblin Wolf Rider Mob that are going to be re-released a little bit later. I'm happy to see the night goblins here because I haven't seen any pictures of them, and also going a little bit further down, they're not here in this list with all the other options that we are getting. Classic Ogres is a fun one that they will be returning. I don't know exactly what they mean by, well, how classic is classic, but I'm thinking that these are the 5th edition Ogres that are going to return. Maybe even the Gorgfax Ogres. So that would be fun to see those back on the battlefield. What I am missing here in this set is Squigs, the big, what you got in 8th edition, the Mangler Squigs. You don't see any Fanatics mentioned here. They might be still in there, but well, we just have to wait and see. We're getting the old metal war boss on a Wyvern. We're also getting this troll hag, which I believe was an Age of Sigmar miniature, but I guess now is going to be repurposed. Don't quote me on that, by the way. Might not have been Age of Sigmar, but it's going to be repurposed, I think, as a fantasy miniature now. And Rock Robber returning. Somebody pointed out that they missed the mark with this lever that's supposed to grab on there. Yeah, I think that's a bit of a shame where you have these old miniatures that were meant to be used in a different way, with the crew just standing around the model, not on a base. So yeah, I guess you have to see how you fix this. Some goblin bosses returning, and we are getting also some made-to-order miniatures. These get me really excited, but not for the fact that I already have most of them. We get the classic stone trolls, 6 different sculpts, 2 groups of 3. We get the Marauder Giant is going to return. We also have the Orc Shaman on a War Wyvern. It took me about 2.5 years to hunt that one down for a decent price. And decent price being under $100. And yeah, I'm glad that I finally have one, even though his ankle is broken. I still need to put him together, but I'm very glad that this one is back. The classic river trolls, we already saw them over here in the background with the troll hag. And then finally the Black Orc Big Boss with an axe and a shield. They haven't pictured him here, but it's going to be this miniature, I guess, that was released in 8th edition. I mentioned this before, but I don't really like made to order on the principle. I would rather see that all of these miniatures would be available for a longer time, or at least that you would have the option to have them made to order for an extended period of time, like what you had earlier with the whole Games Workshop web store, where you could order even individual parts. I don't know if that was necessarily made to order, but you could just put in your order for these specific miniatures, everything in the back catalog you could get. So I really hope that they will at some point in the future do that, or at least cycle these back in. But well, Games Workshop seem to thrive by creating this whole artificial scarcity and playing on people's FOMO. It turns out that Orcs and Goblins made to order are not the only made to orders we are getting. Just as I was about to edit this video, Games Workshop released a new article, a Sunday preview, showing us some classic Bretonnia and Tomb Kings models that are going to be made to order very soon. Let's take a look at that for those whom it may concern. Here we have it, the first wave of Old World made to order. We have the classic Bretonian Lord on Pegasus, a lovely miniature. Of course, it is going to be dwarfed by the Bretonian Lord on Pegasus that we get now, the new one. We also get the classic Bretonia Standard Bearer and the 2 Bretonia Knights. These have been made to stand in for named characters, the yellow one Bohemond Beast Slayer, and the other one Theodric of Brionne. Then we get some Bretonian Paladins on foot. These are very lovely to get too. You get the Warhammer Quest Questing Knight, that one is. You also get this Grill Knight, that is a special character in the what's it called? The Circle of Blood campaign pack for 5th edition. The other two, I do recognize them. I can't really place them. I don't think one of them was that special Games Day France miniature. I believe that one had like a great weapon or something. But yeah, if you want some more Bretonnia knights on foot, especially with those foot knights, see if you can get your hands on those, because these are pretty good miniatures. I think they hold up pretty well and they fit the aesthetic as well. You get the classic Bretonnia damsels, the 5th edition variant. And then we get the Tomb Kings. The Tomb King with the sword and shield and the Tomb King with the spear. Same Tomb King body, just different hands and weapons. Also very good to get one of these in a chariot. I have one of them in one of my own chariots. You get the classic Lich Priests on horseback and on foot. I don't believe there's a new Lich Priest on horseback that's going to be released, only on foot. Though, don't quote me on that. And also the classic Battle Standard Bears, the classic Icon Bearer, again on foot and on horseback. That is going to be it for this Old World update. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Leave a like on the video if you liked the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and if you'd like to see more videos like this. I am now off to start recording a 4th edition battle report, so you can expect to see that on the Forces of Fantasy Patreon first, and then later also here on the YouTube channel in an abridged version. The Forces of Fantasy Patreon is non-tiered, so you can join for as little or as much each month as you like. You can also find the Forces of Fantasy podcast on your regular podcast hosting platform. There are various ways to get in touch, and I would encourage you to give the podcast a listen if you haven't done so already. Subscribe, leave a like or a rating on the podcast. That will also help me to grow my platform a little bit more and to get this wonderful game of Warhammer out there. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.